Tsiki and I, we were both in our early 20s. We met in Thailand. He was traveling in Southeast Asia in the Army, and I was in the United States Peace Corps working as a volunteer for 2.5 years. In the year after we met, I still lived in Thailand, and Tsiki traveled and eventually started his university studies. So we wrote long letters to each other. He was like very into details, and he wanted to express everything perfectly. So on one side of the paper, he'd write his long letter in Hebrew, and then on the other side, he would perfectly translate it into English. Then he would send along a package of all of these Israeli items to introduce me to Israel, Bamba, recorded CDs, introducing me to Moshe Ben Ari and Idan Reichel. And he never missed a thing. He always found like all of these joys and details in his daily tasks, in university, in his family, his hobbies, his plans. He always found life to be full of excitement. I know that he was, at the time when we were together, he was excited to be an uncle. Family was everything to him. His nephew Ben is 22 now, and he also has a niece, Noah, who he never met. He was very traditional, always talked about the importance of family and how he wanted one. At the time, you know, Israel's high-tech scene was blossoming, and he saw himself as a future entrepreneur and always wanted to talk about the future, but always made it sure that, you know, he made it clear. He said, Susie, we must always end up in Israel because Israel needs people like us. And his enthusiasm was infectious, so it was very easy to go along with whatever he wanted to do. I guess I can tell you about the last month of conversation. It wasn't really the last thing we said, but my father died unexpectedly a month before, so our conversations were very heavy, and I was devastated by my father's death, but it also made us really talk about our future and helped us make decisions towards what we really wanted in our relationship. Right before I found out he was killed, I was in a conference, and it was a team-building activity. They asked us a question on the board, what is it that you think about the most? And I wrote in big letters, Tsiki Ayal. And his last text to me was, I pale in comparison to you. I am just dust at your feet, which I thought was overly romantic, but very Tsiki. Tsiki's death divided my life into a before and after. Losing him was unbearable, but loving him showed me what kind of love to look for when I was ready. So I still think of him often, but not in the same way as when I was younger. Like, I always recognize he's such an important part of who I am today, and his legacy lives on in the life I built with my own family. For me, the Amutah is a place to belong when you feel like you no longer belong in this world. And when you're ready to belong in the world, they're there, and they're a warm hug, and they teach you how to carry your pain. Tsiki is no longer with us, but his love will stay with me forever.
הותיר אחריו מנגינות ולא הלחין אחריו שיר פרידה. הוא הותיר אחריו פתק בכתב סתרים. הוא הותיר אחריו חברה.